Hi YouTube. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay, not too bad. Just sat down to roll some cigarettes, got a lot of stuff around the house done, so I have time. I wanted to go over different frequencies that are used by the Dark Cabal. You know, like you've heard the rhythm of music has changed on the Hertz scale, you know. Um, I can't remember the exact frequency right this moment, but my topic is a little different. Like I've gone in depth, like I've talked about the ley lines and monoliths and different things, the way that energy has been transformed in the ether, or captured is a better word to use, so people can portray their thoughts onto other people. It's a craft used by the Dark Cabal. And now their craftiness has gone into the stuff that's in our skies that carries and conducts electricity that can be used as frequency waves and thought projection in that manner. So you're getting it like in the earth, in our food, in the ether, in the music, in the air, from the people. I mean, you're getting it from every angle possible. And it's a real thing. So what I'm saying is maybe if you have thoughts that come into your head, and like I say, this is a thing that has gone on for ages. This isn't anything new. So, and if you believe like in the scriptures where it says nothing new is under the sun, it's true. Very true. This isn't brand new at all. None of the weaponized things that were enhanced to attack the human flesh or different things, what they would call like mind worms or that type of thing that is activated, or black goo, some people would describe the germs and how they can actually be used by that satanic force against people. And okay, now I'm going to come into some studies that I was listening to and about that I've read about quite recently, and that's on gender studies and the lack of that when it comes to people transforming themselves. And I'm one personally, like with children, that any kind of hormone blockers or that type of thing isn't appropriate for a child, because I wanted to be a football player when I was a child. Well, I knew I was a girl, but I still liked to play ball. I wasn't the best, but I was, I enjoyed it for a while. But good thing my parents didn't encourage me to become a man. I would never be a grandma. Today is my youngest birthday, grandchild. Happy birthday. So we're gonna party like it's your birthday. Hey, shorty. So anyway, yeah, all this is absolutely real, what I'm telling you. And with all the confusion that's going on in the world with people, and this is my own personal observation, they don't have a closer walk with thee, so to speak. They're walking a little farther on down the road. Move on down, ease on down the road. So anyway, that's just the way it is. So what I'm telling you is people that can be influenced by that dark force are not as walking as closely with God as he would want them to. they're still his people. They don't know it because they have distanced themselves from him. And I believe if you're not an atheist, you'd hear the word of God in your heart, and you wouldn't have these thoughts that were put in there by the dark cabal intentionally. It's like angel on your shoulder, devil over here. For me, I got angels. Lucky me, right? No, well, I made decisions. Everybody does. Everybody knows what time it is. You know what's up. I don't have to tell anybody anything, actually. I'm just out here, talking to you to say hi and make you aware of what's going on in the ether. Anytime you think a thought, it's in the Akashic records for somebody to grab if their mind is open to that or strong enough. So if you think something horrid, it's going in the low vibe camp, but the high vibes hear it also, if they are so in tune. Some people are hearing it all, and we're not really happy about it, but there's nothing we can do. Just make people aware that there are ultimately two camps. Those that favor God and want to do His will in this asylum, and those that want to stay in the asylum for a very long time. You just make decisions. So that's a good band, Soul Asylum. Or no, I'm thinking Collective Souls. They got a song called Jumper. It's a good one. An angry boy, a bit too insane, icing over a secret pain. You know you don't belong. Anyway. Oh, but the best part, everyone's got two-faced down the demons and say you can put the past away. Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You can cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. Yeah, like I said, excellent lyrics, Yeah, I played some pretty good tunes today. I played one Doug asked me to play for everybody was Why Me Lord by Chris Christopherson. And the odd thing is, it's like, well, or not odd, I was playing a couple of gospel tunes I had sent him on The Wings of a Snow White Dove, and he had gotten in the car and he heard Why Me Lord by Chris Christopherson, and he said to share it for everybody from him. Enjoy. So it's on my community page if you want to hear it. So, yeah, good song. Excellent. And like Doug said, that's the best of Chris Christopherson right there. He's pretty good, but that was the most excellent song he did, you know. So, yeah. I hope I really made it clear that what is in the ether is a real thing. It's frequency, it's electricity. It can be used with water when it's raining. That's typically, you can really get in touch with the Spirit of God when it's foggy out or rainy or that type of thing. Or if you're by the water, that feeling. Rivers, flowing waters of God. But just don't make waves, you know? Yeah. Leave the kids alone. Teacher, leave those kids alone. Because what I'm telling you is people are making decisions for their future on what type of world they want to inhabit. So just make sure that you plan for your future wisely. If something is only good for a little bit, a temporary and not a forever type, whether it's like don't build your house out of straw when you can use bricks, like the Three Little Pigs. Make sure you're not building your house out of straw. You know, it's not very good for you, is what I'm trying to say, you know, no matter who. Include me. I have to every day make decisions. It's not hard. I mean, I'm guided correctly. And I know that's true. I know the difference between what's acceptable with the will of God and what is not. And decisions that people want to make, full knowing what they want to do with their future. But it's just don't try to drag other people down with you where you want to be and they don't want to be, because you're not going to earn any brownie points. It's going to be painful. Whenever we do that to somebody, like I say, you can't hide from God anyway. It's in the ether. He, of course, doesn't even have to pick up on what you're going to say. He knows what you're going to say because he made you. So he knows what level you're on. But that doesn't mean everybody on the planet does. And they also don't understand how they can be set back in the ether thinking those thoughts are their own thoughts, especially the young and the innocent like that, because they're unsuspecting. They don't have a clue. And we have to tell them that this shit's real. Even adults have a hard time understanding that the Spirit of God and the Spirit of Satan can talk to your flesh from the inside out and attack you from the ether. And God's got control over all that is and will be and has been. And that's what most people are either ignorant of or intentionally misdirecting others from, is that connection with God and knowing their full potential, of hearing clearly on this plane of existence where we learn how to get the things you think you deserve in the future. This is where we learn where to get those things and how to get those things. So what you get in the future is what you put into it here. Oh, I'm thoroughly convinced of it. And God will help you in this satanic realm as much as possible and ahead of time. Things we don't even know, battles he fought for us ahead of time. Or put people out here like you or I, or people to come in contact with because they were meant to be, so we could hear what they had to say. and maybe understand why they're saying it, you know, and maybe help them understand why they are saying that or feeling that way. Just because something's been going on for centuries doesn't mean it's the natural way of mankind, you know. And this is where we stop and get our egos in check. And that's when you're doing the will of God. When you can control yourself for Him, then you deserve the gifts He's going to give you. And really not until. It doesn't work like that. Satan will give you gifts and they're temporary. And you will pay for them. God's stuff is free, but you do earn it. You just have to. It's the way it is. It's a fair exchange. It's more than a fair exchange, ultimately. Some people really have a hard time accepting a peaceful existence and a happy life. Like they feel like they betray themselves if they laugh. But then on the other hand, there's ones that will laugh sadistically up in people's faces and really not care because the yoke is on us at this point for this moment until you have to pay for frying that egg, you know. Then the yoke's on you for partaking in that food you had no business touching. Satan will make you pay for it. God doesn't. He offers everything free. But it's just like coming in the kitchen and cleaning up your mess, you know. That's what people got to do. Clean up your own mess. Because I'm telling you, that ether stuff, it's absolutely real. And you know it's true. Just what wolf are you going to feed? Some people are like, I don't have two wolves inside of me. Oh, but you do. You absolutely do. One can devour your spirit and the other one can kill it. And when your spirit is dead on this planet, you're connected the one soulless, motionless entity that can take you nowhere. You're stuck in limbo with your own decisions. You don't want to do that. Because listen, this ether stuff and what's coming in from your insides, the wolf you're feeding, whether it's out of ignorance or setting yourself back, one of the two, your thoughts are being controlled from your natural state. And that's what peace is, understanding that. Because we're all forgiven ahead of time. God loves people, you know. He didn't make us just to hate us and torture us. It's not like that. That's Satan's job. He thinks that's the way he's going to turn you back to God, is by making you pay $50 every day, you know. So just please understand that the war that's going on, it's spiritual, the confusion, the chaos, the Okay, I heard something that's flat out not true because I've studied the medical science behind it myself. Less than 1% of people born on this planet are truly what they would call hydrogynous or born with both genders, which would be morphodism, morphodite, a true, not a hermaphrodite. That's a fictitious thing. The child is either born resembling very much so one or the other gender, but has signs of both. And then the doctor will make those decisions. Now, the feelings that somebody might be getting within their soul has been put into practice and play through witchcraft and other means for centuries and been taught to people to keep you on this level in enslavement. And what I'm telling you is the absolute truth out of love and concern, and I know what I'm talking about, to help your soul ascend. And yes, this gender thing is a big deal within all that, you know. If that helps somebody, um, the things that were done to all of us through all of our lives, if I can reach one person with that and give them a full understanding that God made you beautiful, you who He wants you to be, to learn from that. And if you are godless, this would make you in that chaotic camp, the camp of chaos, you know? And I'm convinced of that. And besides that, with that report I heard somebody else state that it was around 2%, which was not true. They stretched the truth. It's less than 1%. And I've been following this type of thing all my life. This battle that God has already won for us, um, I had a big start in that whole thing, and I know what I'm talking about. I'll come up against anybody with the damn science, so stop your nonsense, you know? It's time to help people get closer to God, not to drag them down away from Him. When He says no on something, it's no, unless you don't want to go where it's no. And then don't try and bring somebody else where you're going, because that's not your job. If you think you're Satan or you think you're God, you can try and tell me what to do. Good luck with that. That'll never work. I don't listen to anybody not like that. No way. That's why I know when people try and attack me from the outside. And it is, frequencies are a real thing. Listen to me. These towers that are up and the microwaves and HARP and all the shit going on. Even black boxes that are along coastlines with capabilities that are beyond a lot of people's grasp. You know, this is all real. I heard people say the pyramids are not your friends. Well, could very well be. I know the monoliths aren't. High rises and stuff. Oh, yeah, they're used. You got to understand what an incoming thought is and not own it. It's when we act on things and own it that we make it ours. And to fight against that, once you start fighting and you feel it coming in, it'll really piss you off that they think you're so small that you're going to grasp that shit and not be your own person, you know. no matter who you choose to be, as long as you're leaving the children out of it. That I can totally agree with. Because there's a lot of influencers out there. It's not that parents aren't going to let their child grow up and be who they're going to be. That has nothing to do with it. It does, however, have to do with who do I choose to let watch and teach my child. Doug and I were talking about what it was like going through divorces and having our exes keep our children away from us, and a friend of his that wants to take his own life that is going through a similar situation. That's pure fucking hell. And somebody that's not a parent may not understand that feeling, what it's like to know your child's probably in danger and you cannot do anything to help him or her. That's about the worst hell any parent can go through. Well, with free will, that is how God feels his hands are tied, and a lot of people don't understand that in itself is a gift. Your decision, your ability to make those decisions and not be penalized, you have that right. But you have to be careful what camp you're in, with all that. Just try it for a day. Whenever you, like if you have a temper, or if you have a tendency to overeat or lust or whatever it is, your thing, put it aside for a second. Where'd that thought come from? Was it what I consider my soul, my innermost me? Or was it on a level where that's not quite me? Is it something I had to put on to show the world that I took on? Or is that actually my innermost me? If your chaos is your innermost me, you belong to the King of Chaos at this point. Whether or not I can reach you in there, I know the Spirit of God can. And that's how close we'll be walking, whether or not we or you can hear what I'm saying to you. It is the godless that are in a chaotic and confused state right now. And they are the one with the argument. But are you right? If you think you can, that's a question. If you think you can consider owning the whole world on your shoulders, guiding that whole world like an orchestra, and not screw up, if you're that godlike, then my words they don't mean nothing, But if that's not you, better listen to what I'm saying. We have to be careful what we think and what we teach and what we say concerning every soul on this planet. And we don't serve the chaotic ones, not in the little tiniest bit. In an odd way, even when I do something kind for Doug, and he has been a very cruel human being, he pays for it. just with that. Just with that. And that's not something I do. That's something he's doing to himself. Whether people revert or they bounce back and forth like good, bad, like a freaking yo-yo or a basketball all day long or periodically or whatever, they know God's in there. And they may not like it, but he's there. We're in these times where they're trying to alter God's frequency, but they don't understand the force from within the earth itself, the core, the heart of the whole situation that they cannot change. They can't change the magnetic pull of God's force inside their selves. Although you have free will, that's how you're picking your camp in the ether, and you can't hide. Especially from those of us that can hear you clearly, you know. So I'm going to get this uploaded. I'm not even going to ask you to give it some thought. I'm going to ask you to give it a share so people are really aware of what's going on, because your soul is under attack. They want to set you back for thousands upon thousands of years, not just a day or a year or a month, whatever. Like try eternity, serving them, being a slave, under obligation and fear of destitution and abandonment and all the other wicked threats that you will receive, even right down to being a sacrifice for them. Don't sign the papers. Don't sign Z papers, young people. I love y'all. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.